Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and it is time for the Quick 3 Tarot. For those who are not familiar with this is where I pull 3 tarot cards and I tell you what the energy is with the cards. Now, today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm using the Kipper deck as well. So I will pull the Kipper deck and then I will do the main tarot deck. So I guess you can say Quick 3 Tarot, but that's sort of what I'm doing today. Before I go any further, kirwkc.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. As for the reading, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. You know your story way better than I ever could. Also, some quick housekeeping as well. Don't forget about the Christmas with KC contest. All you have to do to enter is sign up for the email list, and I am not going to spam you. I don't do spam. So you don't have to worry about that. The way to sign up for the email list, look in the details section. There is a link there. Click on the link. It'll take you to the landing page. Enter your email address and you will automatically be entered in the Christmas with KC contest, where you will be entered to have a chance to win cash via CashApp or gift cards. So just letting you know about that. For the pre-shuffle energy that I was getting, for some of you, if you're in a work situation where someone is able to take credit for your work, if your spidey sense is going off about that person, just make sure that you're the one receiving credit, unless you don't care. Because some people don't care, because I can be like that sometimes. It's like, I don't care who gets the credit as long as the job gets done. I can be like that. So if you're in that energy where you don't care, as long as the job gets done, who gets the credit, more power to you. But if you are one of those people, and you know who you are, if you're one of those people who you're like, hey, I did this and I want to get credit for it. If you know there's someone in your environment and there's something that you're about to turn in, a project or whatever that you're working on, or this new idea for the company and stuff. And something just said to me to investor wise, random. Okay. But yeah, if somebody is looking, if someone is saying they're looking to invest with you or invest in you, make sure that there's some type of agreement in place, maybe a non-disclosure agreement or something, just some type of proof that you had what you have before they get involved, if that makes sense. Like, make sure you have the proof showing that you're the one who came up with whatever it is that you came up with. Because I feel like, going back to the investor thing, for some of you, this may have been something that you worked really, really hard to create. And then this person swoops in and is like, yeah, I want to work with you, da 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 da. And it goes totally left. So just make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Non-disclosure agreement or some type of contract or something. And not saying that a contract is the end-all be-all, because like one of my former associates used to say, contracts are made to be broken. However, at least you will have something on record. Now, for others of you, another energy that I was picking up was that someone is entitled, and it's more than likely a female that is entitled, that you may be dealing with, that they have these expectations of someone to do something, and it's sort of like, oh, well, you just need to do it because I want it. Be careful who you deal with on that. And also, don't feel that you can change that person either. Because if they're like that now, they may be like that later. So just throwing that out there. Also, for those, if I'm talking about the person who is entitled, you might need to do some self-reflection as well. If you have this entitlement attitude, like, oh, I'm supposed to get this because I'm me. No. You have to do some self-reflection. No one owes anyone anything. Do people owe others respect? Absolutely. And I know how some people say, well, respect is earned. That's true. However, as citizens of the planet, we should at least attempt to respect each other automatically. As in respect is in just being polite. That's it. You don't have to go overboard and be fake. I can't stand fake people. But you can be polite to others. So keep that in mind too. Also, for others of you, there may be competing people. If there's a love situation, there may be competing people where is an air sign and a water sign that's interested in you. So, they might catch wind of each other. It could be a Scorpio and a Gemini, is what it could be. Or, could be a Scorpio and a Gemini that there's a connection with. That you have a connection, because that's those two signs. I don't know what it is about Scorpios and Geminis that draws them to each other. I have to look that up one time. But you may be a Scorpio that finds yourself drawn to a Gemini, or you may be a Gemini that finds yourself drawn to a Scorpio if you're not in the middle of a Gemini and a Scorpio. But with that, with Gemini and Scorpio relationships, if this is resonating with you, when it's really good, it's really good. And when it's really bad, it's really bad. So I feel like there's not really an in-between with their type of relationships, with a Gemini and a Scorpio. Just throwing that out there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take 3 cards from the Kipper deck to see where we're at. May I have the energy for the collective for Monday, December the 13th. The energy for the collective. Again, coming back up as soon as I split the deck, Privileged Lady. I honestly feel, and Privileged Lady can also be someone who has a like a higher status. Like they're just very, what's the word I'm looking for? There is a word. Can I have some backup, please? There is a word. It is on my mind. I need you to send it to my mind. I need the download. For someone who is of noble status. Okay, we'll take that. For someone who is of when you think of nobles and stuff like that, someone who's of that status, that particular class of people. So, Privileged Lady. So some of you may be dealing with someone who is in a different class. They may be in a different tax bracket. Just throwing that out there. So that's coming out right now when I split the deck. And also that person who, and not saying that this person will be like that, but that person could feel entitled. They could feel an expectation because things have always been given to them due to their status. And it's almost like, let me give you a quick example before I start pulling the cards. It's almost like when someone goes to a restaurant, and let's say they're a celebrity, and where someone might have to wait 45 minutes for a table. If this celebrity comes in and the maitre d' sees it, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to get you a table. And then they get that person, the celebrity, a table in 5 minutes. Or the celebrity has their own table that no one can sit at. That type of energy. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to take 3 cards from the Kipper deck. Also, something said to me that going back to a relationship thing, that the relationship may elevate someone's status where they may become privileged. Be careful with that, because just as something is given to you, it can be taken away. So if you're in a lower tax bracket and then you meet, let's say, someone who's wealthy, and he or she takes very good care of you, and then all of a sudden you have access to all of this wealth and all of these resources, don't let it go to your head. Remember to stay grounded. May I have some cards, please? And also something said, thank you. And also something said, going back to the privileged lady, if you are a privileged lady, make sure that you're very cautious of who comes around you, too. May I have 2 more cards, please? Two more cards. May I have 2 more cards for the collective? Monday, December the 13th. I'm starting to feel like this is the only card. Oh, hold on. There it goes. Yeah. There's some. We gotta have a lot of timelines going on here. Okay. May I have 1 more card? Whoa. Okay. And that. Okay, these 2 I'm taking together. Something's telling me to take all of these. Okay, this is going to be an interesting reading. Yeah, we got. Why did I open myself up to this? Okay. All right. We got a lot to unpack here. So I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to unpack it. All right, where to start? Let's start with the first card that came out. And I need to just bear with me because I have 2, 4, 7 cards on the table. 4 different timelines. 4 different timelines. 1 card for one timeline, 1 card for another timeline, 2 cards for one timeline, and then 3 cards for one timeline. All right, let's start with the first one. First one is imprisonment. There's something going on. When I had first pulled that card, the energy that I was picking up is that some of you still might have limiting beliefs. Not necessarily jail. Jail could be the case, where someone may find themselves in jail. Something did say to me, be careful about, and this is for those, and you know who you are. If you have the urge to take advantage of someone, just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should. So be careful about that, because you could find yourself in jail. For others of you, and my nail just broke. For others of you, be careful about limiting your beliefs. Don't lock yourself in a cage. Be open to other possibilities of what can come to you. And don't lock yourself away from people. That's something else that just came to me as well. Don't lock yourself away from people. For this other one card, courtship. There's some dating going on. I'm going back to the Gemini energy and the Scorpio energy. Don't be surprised on that as well. You may hear something, possibly, because I'm seeing the number 4. I'm thinking like within 4 days. So maybe by the 17th, which is actually close to the full moon. And if you haven't listened to my full moon reading, it's about opening your heart. I did what I call an infinity cross spread. And at the heart of the matter in the spread, it was about love. And it was about relationships. But the message was, in order for it to happen, you had to open your heart. Someone may open their heart to you around this time, maybe in the next 4 days, maybe around the 17th of December. Or vice versa, you could open your heart to them, which is close to the full moon. The full moon is on the 18th, 19th is when it is. And then winter solstice is on the 21st, I think. So lots of reflection will be going on. And after that reflection, someone may make a confession where they want to date, courtship. Now, for this timeline, these two cards came out together. Message of concern and coffin. Usually, with the coffin, it's almost like the death card in the tarot deck, where it doesn't mean literal death. It's just more like you're removing what doesn't serve you. However, because it's with the message of concern, in this, some of you may hear about a passing. I hate to say that, but that's a possibility that some of you may receive a message about that. And my heart goes out to you. And I'm going to clarify these in a moment too, because I still have my tarot deck here. So some of you may receive a message about a passing. And something actually said, and especially with these white roses on the top of the coffin, it may be around the winter solstice. So that may, and like I said, the winter solstice, I forgot the exact date. I want to say December 21st. So maybe December 20th, 21st, you may hear something about that. Or you may hear something that they're like, okay, this person isn't doing as well, and they want to see you before they transition. So it may be that type of message too that comes in. So that's the third timeline. For the fourth timeline, there's 3 cards here. There is change. Obviously, something's changing. Also, there's some traveling too, because I'm looking at the car. There's high honor. So this is back to recognition. And this is false person. Remember what I was talking about earlier, where you need to be careful about someone taking advantage of your work. False person. I feel this is in this timeline here with the high honor, where instead of you receiving recognition, they're receiving the recognition. If you're not cautious, you need to make a change in doing that. Also, something just said to me, be careful, and I will do my best to explain this as best I can. Be careful if someone says to you, oh, you should make a change to this. Let's say you present something to someone at your job, or you're an entrepreneur, and you present something to someone that is looking to partner up with you. And they're like, that's great, but there's just one thing you need to change. And that change allows them to hijack what you did and then take the credit for it. and do that. Where if you're not catching what they're doing, how they're maneuvering, then you're like, oh, okay, all right, because you're thinking, hey, okay, they're giving me feedback on how to help me and so forth, and you make the change or changes that they talked about. After you do it, they're able to hijack whatever it is that you originally had. Keep that in mind too. Now, I'm not saying be paranoid of those who are offering constructive criticism or feedback, because as I always say, feedback is a gift. What I am saying is that if your spidey sense is going off, and we all have a spidey sense, if your spidey sense is going off when they're saying there's one thing you need to do, and your spidey sense goes off and it's like, now wait a second, why would I need to do that? You're thinking it in your head, then you might want to take a step back and just double check everything that they're asking you to do. Maybe talk to one or two other people that specialize in the field that you're in, or two other coworkers, and you can say to them, hey, they told me to do this, but I'm feeling like it's fine the way it is. And if those other people are like, it is fine the way it is, why did they tell you to do that? Then you know, okay, they were trying to hijack, they were doing something shady, but there's a false person going on with this that is attempting to hijack your work, is what they're attempting to do, because they want the high honor instead of you getting the high honor, is what it is. Now, I'm going to take a card and clarify these timelines right quick. Like I said, I did not mean for all of this to happen, but apparently it was meant for it to happen because someone needs to hear it. And I will probably title this multiple timelines. And then whoever is listening to this or watching this video, you can take from it whatever you want to take from it. May I have the energy for the collective, for the timelines presented? May I have the energy for the collective, for the timelines presented? And when I split Queen of Swords, some of you might be dealing with the court matter, because Queen of Swords is also known as a divorce card. I don't see divorce around here. I don't see that. But also Queen of Swords can be like a court matter to a legal matter. Some of you may be dealing with an attorney. That might be related to the imprisonment, where you know someone in your orbit who needs an attorney. That could be it too. So can we clarify imprisonment, please? May I have a card to clarify imprisonment? The imprisonment time. Thank you. The Sun. So this is perfect. The Sun is clarifying the imprisonment timeline. If there is physical imprisonment, somebody's getting out of jail. The Sun is shining. So there's also healing. Going back to the other type of imprisonment that I was talking about earlier, where there's a mental imprisonment, where you're locking yourself away from people. That the Sun card is the happiest card in the deck. Also, you could be dealing with a Leo. But anyone who has someone in their orbit that may have an imprisonment situation, and maybe you're waiting on news to come in or something like that, don't be surprised if you hear good news, because the Sun card is clarifying the imprisonment. Also, with the Sun card here, don't forget the Sun illuminates things. Things that were in the dark come into the light. Maybe there was a situation where someone was falsely imprisoned. So the Sun card is showing what the truth of the matter is. And after it shows what the truth of the matter is, it leads to their vindication and to their release. And of course, that will bring ultimate happiness. For others of you, something just said to me, some of you might have been in a relationship with someone in prison, and they're about to get out because their time is just up. And now you're about to be happy with them. I know someone that happened to, and they've been married for over a decade now. So it's definitely possible when it comes to that. But with the Sun card clarifying the imprisonment here, there's good news on the horizon. All right. Can we clarify courtship, the courtship timeline? May I have a card to clarify the courtship timeline, please? Thank you. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. So, Nine of Pentacles. This is being single. However, someone sees you. That's why they were waiting to approach you. Someone sees you as like this person, going back to the privileged lady thing, where someone sees you as very independent, very self-sufficient. That might be why they're approaching you, is the Nine of Pentacles, because you're in Nine of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy. They see you very abundant. They see you very capable. And they're like, I want to be with that person. And again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. There's no gender in tarot. They're like, I want to be with that person. That person has their stuff together. They're going to come in. This is for a single person. Someone is about to make a confession. Someone's going to ask you out on a date. And this person, you could be an earth sign. Again, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Or a Capricorn, Virgo, or a Taurus may be asking you out on a date. A Capricorn, Virgo, or a Taurus who is also independent in pre-Empress energy may be coming to you because they're like, okay, I've been single long enough, is what's going on here. Again, I'm still on this 4-day thing. I still feel like you may get, whoever this is resonating with, this may happen around the 17th, is when this may happen. Where I honestly feel like there's going to be a confession. You're confessing to them or they're confessing to you. Can we clarify the message of concern and coffin timeline, please? Can we clarify that? May I have a card to clarify that, please? Six of Cups. Yeah, this is involving family or either a close friend. So you may, in someone where it's nostalgia, and it may be someone you haven't heard from in a while. And something just said to me, it may be a friend that you grew up with, but then you sort of, life happens. It's just life. Life happens, unfortunately. And we are all on our own timelines. And you may get a message about a friend that you grew up with. And even though you weren't really in contact as much anymore, it may hit you a little bit. So Six of Cups, it may have been a childhood friend that it happened with. If it's not a childhood friend, then it's definitely a family member, because Six of Cups is family and friends. This is a nostalgia energy. This is something from the past. Something where there's been a long-term relationship with, for the Six of Cups, is what this is. So, don't be surprised if the message that comes in about someone, clarifying this, is not someone that you met a week ago. It's not going to be that. It's either going to be a family member or a someone you've known or known of for a long time. I honestly feel like this is going to be a childhood friend that maybe you lost touch with. So in that they transitioned or they're in the process of transitioning. But I honestly feel like the transition may have already happened. And you're just going to get the news on that. So there's the clarification on that part. Also, this Cups is a water energy. The person could be a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. Or you could be a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. So just, letting you know about that. And my condolences to you as well. If you happen to be one of the people that receives that message. All right, I need to clarify this fourth timeline with change, high honor, and false person. May I have a card to clarify this fourth timeline, please? Thank you. Yeah, and they came out in the reverse. I have the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. They flipped over. Something just said to me that someone wants to take the credit. The energy I'm picking up is that the reason this false person is looking to take the credit is because they're desperate. It's not, and I know, I hate saying this because I can't stand when people say it. It's one of my pet peeves. Don't take it personal. That's one of my pet peeves. When people say that, I just want to, whoo, if only you knew. Because I'm like, I'm a person. How else am I supposed to take it? But I want to say their reason for acting the way they act doesn't have anything to do with you. This is due to them feeling that they've been over this false person. They feel that they've been overlooked. And now they want to step out and come out of their mental prison and stuff and get the attention that they were not once receiving. And part of this was because they held themselves back. Eight of Swords, this is air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Two of Pentacles is earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And now that they're stepping out, now that they're determined to claim their recognition, they don't care who they throw under the bus in order to do it. It's more of, I've sat in the corner too long and I deserve recognition because I'm capable and I will get the recognition by any means necessary. That's the type of energy this false person is in. And I hate to say, don't take it. It's just, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not where they're singling you out and they're like, oh, I don't like that person. It could be that, but I'm not picking that up. It's not where I don't like that person. Let me steal their shine or let me do this or let me do that. It's more like, no, I want the shine. I deserve the shine. I don't care about this person. I care about me. I'm going to do what I have to do to get the high honor. That's the energy I'm picking up. So going back to the spidey sense of things, and it's interesting. I just caught this when I looked, because when I set the two cards back down, the two flipped over to the side, but then the 8 was by itself, the 8 of Swords. Guess what number is for the false person? 8. So definitely some of you may be dealing with an air sign for sure. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. There may be an Aquarius, Libra, or a Gemini that you're dealing with, whether it's in the workspace or whether it's going to be on a project you're working on as an entrepreneur or something of that nature, that they're saying they were for you or acting like they're for you and they're really not. And something is saying to me with the 8 of Swords, I think that mask is finally going to fall off. It wouldn't surprise me if it falls off around the full moon. Don't forget, during full moon, secrets come out as well. So that may be going on too. But whenever this moment happens, if it happens, because again, you know your situation better than I ever could. If the situation happens It's not about you. It's about them. Because don't forget, Eight of Swords in the upright is self-imposed prison. It's about insecurity. It's about thoughts, because Swords is about thoughts and communications. Eight of Swords in reverse is coming out of that prison. Also, it's about making the communication clear to others, speaking up. And that's why I was saying that mask might come off, because now that the Eight of Swords is in reverse, they're letting their real thoughts and feelings come out. False person. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Regardless, back to what I said at the beginning, if your spidey sense goes off, you might want to double check some things. I cannot believe I got wrapped up in all these timelines. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If none of these timelines were your story, don't try to make them fit. kirwkc.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Christmas with KC contest. Sign up for the mailing list. Information in the details section below. Enter your email address. You're automatically entered. Until next time, be blessed.